All right, guys. I'm extremely apologetic that I couldn't be there. I can't be here in class today. But I have something for you that I think is going to be extremely beneficial for us all. And it's in regards to your senior paper, all right? And the objective for today is drawing connections, all right? This is some help I'm going to get you, and I think it'll help you with your research also, all right? So not too long ago, as you well know, I was an undergrad student, okay? And I was just where you are right now around this time, actually, all right? And you right now, you're in the brainstorming process, right? You're trying to discover your topic, your claim, your thesis, right? And it's really important that once you find it, you discover it, that you are validating your claim, all right? Validating, making it valid. The way you make your claim valid, the way that you make it logical and sensible for your reader or whomever is hearing your argument, is you draw connections. And it's somewhat of an art to this, all right? You drawing these connections and you're making things sensible, all right? And for a lot of you're coming up with claims, thesis, topics that are well researched, but no one is exactly saying what it is that you're trying to say, all right? And I had the same situation. And essentially my thesis was this: fashion and literature helped slaves amalgamate into society. It allowed them to transcend their status as slaves and become full-blown citizens. It was a symbol of that, okay? And so I have these two seemingly unrelated topics. I have fashion, literature, right? And slaves and slavery. And the real true question is, how are they related, okay? And I can try to find as much research as I can. I can go out and look in the libraries. I can spend all day on the computer Googling it, right? But if no one has done this work before, it's going to take some brain power on my end to make this valid, all right? And I have to draw the connection. I need to be drawing these connections. So I have these two seemingly unrelated things, fashion and slavery, yes? Hopefully you can see this, fashion and slavery. And eventually, I get to a point where I'm discovering a lot of research, all right? And after I do my research, I discovered that in England and North America, fashion was extremely important, and it was used as exploitation of slaves, all right? And this is all in my paper, which you have in your email, so go through it and read it. It's a part of your homework, all right? This will all make sense to you once you read it. And what I found in these books was evidence of my claim. It was validation, okay? I found that in England, they used clothes and slaves as accessories. So a little black boy would be dressed in really expensive clothing. And that clothing then became a symbol of English power, all right? This power was expressed through clothing, all right? And it's much similar to a nice toy, okay? So if I give you something that you really like, so for instance, Mr. Hamilton, I give you a nice pair of Michael Jordan sneakers. You like those sneakers very much. And right before you decide to walk outside and wear them for yourself, I tell you, no, you can't have them, okay? Next week, I tell you the same thing. Here, wear these Jordans. And when you go outside, I take them away from you again, and then again and again. Eventually, you're gonna want those Jordans so bad that you're willing to do anything to me or for me to have them, okay? This is what happened, and this was the situation of the little black boy, the little black slave. In addition, black slaves were put on stage in these same costumes as a means of exploiting them and using them for entertainment. So the boy became to associate clothing with his own degradation. Follow? All right, so that is a form of my ethos. That is me drawing the connection and making these things valid, my claim between fashion and slavery. And if you can't see it just yet, I have some more ethos for you, all right? In North America also, clothing was used as a means of power and expression, okay? Let me hit this light for you. And then in slavery in America in particular, you had something in the slave dynamic called the head driver. And if you recognize this man, this is Samuel L. Jackson from the Django Unchained, okay? In the Django Unchained, Samuel L. Jackson is a head driver, all right? So in North America, slavery, right? Slavery exploited fashion in this way, okay? The head driver was given better clothes. He was given a better quality of life. He lived in the house with the master, okay? And he is the master's right-hand man in terms of telling him and being the eyes and ears of the plantation, all right? And as you can see, this head driver is dressed very well. This is not the dress of a typical slave. He's in fact drinking alcohol, sitting in a leather chair. And this was the situation for many head drivers, okay? Not all, but many. Well, what this did was created friction on the plantation, and people who worked in the fields, they began to envy this man because he had the clothing, he had the nice position. And the largest expression of this power, his position, was his clothing, okay? So that both the head driver as well as the field hand, they come to associate their clothing with position and power, okay? And this is extremely important to my paper because I must make it clear, just as you must make it clear in your paper, that whatever claim that you're making is actually valid, okay? You're starting with your brainstorming, and it's all going to stem from your research. You must do as much as possible, okay? I have vast knowledge in different areas, but it's a little footwork on your behalf, all right? Actually, there's a lot of footwork on your behalf. But the more research you do, the more opportunities you get to draw connections, okay? And they won't always be extremely clear. They won't always be evident and blatant. Somebody might not always say, oh, this is blasey, 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 and it proves your point, okay? They might not do that. You may have to do what I did, which was research, discover, and find something, and then make it plausible, make it logical, okay? Argument is not necessarily about what is true. It's about what you can prove, okay? And we know this based on the interviews that we watched with Darren Wilson, the articles that we've read about Daniel Pantaleo, right? And just our knowledge on argument and lawyer and law in general, okay? So these two things were unrelated. I had to find information. I went out and did the research, okay? I came back with this information from England, North America, and then I made it evident. I gave my claim validation by doing so, okay? So clothing is extremely important because from the inception of the black man's existence here in America, right? This is my claim. Clothing was given to him. It did not always belong to him, but it symbolized something more than just a garment, okay? It was more than just a simple expression of taste. It wasn't something that was used as recreation, okay? What you're gonna do is read the first 5 pages of my thesis. Pay particular attention to the introduction, okay? Everything in my introduction is essentially in chronological order in terms of what happens after my introduction, all right? So I state things in my introduction, and throughout my thesis, it's happening as in the order that I stated in, okay? My introduction is perhaps a page and a quarter, maybe 2 pages. And this is really, really, really important for you guys because you're gonna have to solidify this idea in the mind of the reader, right? Selective language, choosing the right information at the right time, using it in the proper place in your papers, okay? So just one more thing so you understand, all right? Today's objective is drawing and identifying. I should have wrote that on the board, okay? Drawing and identifying connections, all right, within research. Research and discovery comes from thinking, right? Your thesis, claim, or topic, you may have to draw a connection that's never been made before, but you find a source here, you find a source for here, you find the commonality, and you draw the connection, and that equals validation. Understand? If this is not completely clear, this is my attempt to give you a bit of a preview or a little heads up on what you have going on for homework this evening, all right? Use your homework guide. It will guide you entirely. If there are any discrepancies or if there's any confusion, please shoot me an email. I'll be checking it all evening, all right? I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Please have a blessed day. If no one has told you, you are loved. Our education, our future. All right, guys. Have a good one.